Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Kamalavare Nakam Madhuta Shingam Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsingadev 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 Jaya Nrsingadev Nrsingadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Nrsingadev Bhagavan ki jai Bhakti Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari
Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor this Sunday afternoon. So now we'll be having a class on the Bhagavad Gita given by His Grace Bhakti Rishi Prabhu. Rishi is actually a great sage and does great justice to his name actually. He was a monk for 1 year and therefore has great wisdom and jewels hidden deep inside his heart which he's going to share with us all today. Wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. So please do stick around. There is also prasadam being served and hope to see you all again very soon. Hare Krishna. Just give us a few moments while we set up. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'll be outside. Hare Krishna. Just be speaking from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 13. I'll just get set up here as well. Yeah? Really? Okay.
It's okay, I've got this. I've got. Yeah. Okay. You see Jay Radhamando?
Yeah.
I want someone to play.
If you want to do Mridanga, that's okay. But it's actually fine. It's fine.
Do you want the Vyasam there? I usually keep it there.
Yeah, let's move it this way.
Move it now?
Yeah. But actually, whatever you think's best.
I mean, up to you.
I'm happy here. That's okay.
Just rotate a bit this way.
Sure. Thank you so much. Oh. Hare Krishna. We'll just start with a little Jaya Radha Madhava, if you can join in. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 13. So we should have the verse up there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there is no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have either spiritual bodies in the next life or at least life in heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment of material existence. So in either case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the supersoul, and nature, both material and spiritual, is called Dhira, or a most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the supreme soul being unchangeable. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portions of the supreme exist eternally, sanatan, and are called shara. That is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the supersoul, who is present in each and every individual body, and is known as the Paramatma, who is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in water, the reflections represent both the sun and the moon and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities and the sun or the moon to the Supreme Lord. The individual fragmental spirit soul is represented by Arjuna, and the Supreme Soul is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of the 4th chapter. If Arjuna is on the same level with Krishna, and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna, then their relationship of instructor and instructed becomes meaningless. If both of them are deluded by the illusory energy, Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction would be useless because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be an authoritative instructor. Under the circumstances, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity, Arjuna, who is a forgotten soul deluded by Maya. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I'll just start with some prayers before we jump into some discussion. Om inana timirandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshu anmadatam yena tismei shri gadave namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutare Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Rindanvide Shri Rishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakaupatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminatha Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachayane Nivishesha Sinyavadi Paschatadeshadayane Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Pramapadayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namade Gauratasha Nama Namo Brahmanya Davaya Go Brahmanetaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishna Govindaya Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you so much. So I've been asked to speak on this verse from chapter 2, verse 13. Excuse me. So at this point, there's a very interesting part in the Bhagavad Gita, and there's a very interesting part of the Bhagavad Gita because in this chapter, because at this point, Arjuna is on the battlefield, and he's asked Krishna to take him into the middle of the two armies, and so he can see who he has to fight. And this is explained in the first chapter, where essentially he's asked Krishna, take me in the middle, I want to see who I have to fight. I want to see the two sides of the army, take me right in the middle. And then seeing all of this, he loses all of his composure. And at the beginning of the chapter, he says this. He says, I've lost all composure due to miserly weakness. And this is interesting because for Arjuna, he's a Kshatriya, which is like a warrior, administrator. So for him to lose his personality, his identity with his duty in society was like, he had like a nervous breakdown, right? He completely lost himself in that moment after seeing who he had to fight. And then at this point in chapter 2, verse 7, he accepts Krishna as his teacher, as his guru, and he humbly requests his guidance. And so then Krishna is speaking now, and it's important to know also, as I said, the background of the Mahabharata at this point. Why are they fighting? So because of, the Mahabharata is a huge story. I won't summarize the whole story, but essentially Arjuna and the other Pandavas are fighting here to uphold dharma and righteousness and justice in society. And in the Mahabharata it's explained that they tried many different alternatives before resorting to war, right? And they tried many different things, but then during a certain time, during a gambling match, when Draupadi was disrobed, the last resort had to be war. The Kauravas were not, the opposing side were not willing to be reasonable or fair. So ultimately, the Pandavas had to fight, and there had to be this war. So then Arjuna is saying at this point, then after seeing his family members, his teachers, his friends, those who he's grown up with, he's been taught by, he's been nurtured by, he sees them on the battlefield because they've also had a part to play in the wrongdoing of the Kauravas, that he will no longer fight. And he says, how can I counteract with arrows in battle these men who are worthy of my worship? And he also gives many different reasons in chapter 1 as well about how fighting in this war wouldn't be compassionate for these people I have to kill on the battlefield. How can we enjoy the kingdom? If I kill all of my family and my friends who have trained me and who have nurtured me and who have raised me, how can we live in society once we have this battle and all these people are killed? How can we actually then function as a society? How can we actually we won't recover, is what his point is. And then finally he also says we'll incur some very bad karma, some bad reactions from this war if we decide to fight. And then in this chapter Krishna gives these different counter arguments against these points. He says in verse 11 that you're mourning for something that is not worthy of grief. because those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. And the point here is that these people have to die and have to be killed in the Mahabharata because they've done something abominable. They've done something completely unforgivable. Because in the gambling match where Draupadi is disrobed, Draupadi is a chaste woman, and so she's upheld in society as a very respectful person, and therefore when she was insulted, it was said that from that moment on, the whole Kuru dynasty had to be destroyed because a respectable woman had been insulted. So then Krishna then says in verse 12 that never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. And he's starting to get to the point that he's saying to Arjuna, you're looking at the body, and there is actually something more than just the body that you're seeing, the body of your relatives. And he's explaining how the soul is eternal, how these bodies on the battlefield are simply one of many million lifetimes. And then we get on to this verse, that Krishna says, as the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. And so at this point, Krishna is saying, as the body changes from boyhood to youth to old age, similarly the soul is passing from body to body, and that this is the truth. And we understand that the difference between a living body and a dead body is consciousness. And we understand from Vedic scriptures that consciousness is a symptom of the soul, the existence of the soul. So we've been through many millions of lifetimes, different forms of life as birds and beasts, and now we have this human form of life. And we're a spirit soul, we have this body, we're inhabiting this body for some time, and it comprises of the 5 elements. And we also have, so we have our soul, we're the soul, and we have a gross body, but we also have a subtle body, and this comprises of the mind, the intelligence, and false ego. And so actually by practicing Krishna consciousness, by practicing spirituality, the subtle body, and in particular the false ego or false identification with the body, dissolves. As we practice, as Srila Prabhupada says, in other parts of the Gita, he says, we're cleaning the mirror of our heart. So within our heart is our soul, and is us, the real us, and also there's Krishna. And as we practice Krishna consciousness, as we serve, as we chant, as we read about Krishna, we sing about Krishna, we think about Krishna, we worship Krishna on the altar, we're cleaning this mirror of our heart. And then we start to see Krishna, and we also start to see the real us. And we're left with our clean and clarified, true, real identification, the soul. And so Krishna's making this point that, look, this body isn't the actual living entity. This isn't the real thing, but a temporary embodiment of the living entity. And after they're released from this body, they continue on their journey. And of this change from body to body via birth and death, a sober person isn't bewildered. It's just like changing clothes, right? We don't get bewildered when somebody takes their shirt and replaces it with a jumper, right? We have understanding that there's something beyond just this shirt and this jumper. They're just changing their dress. And so we're not bewildered when we truly understand that we're not the soul we're not the body and we're the soul. Then we understand that we're not disturbed. We're not disturbed by the changing of this body. We're not disturbed when other people's bodies change and they leave their bodies. We understand that they are a soul. They're a spirit soul. They're part and parcel of Krishna, and they're just changing their body. They're going into the next body. And actually, as Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, that Arjuna can be rejoiced. He can feel rejoiced. He can rejoice, is because he can see that, he can understand that when they get a new body, they'll be rejuvenated. They'll have a new body, a fresh new body that they can then continue, either as a spirit in the material world or in the spiritual world. They'll have a new body, a fresh start. And so there's no cause for lamentation. Either they'll go back to the spiritual world or they'll come back and have another chance to start. As we know, we carry our spiritual advancement, our spiritual progress with us from lifetime to lifetime. So if at the end of this lifetime I finish on 10%, then I start my next lifetime at 11% onwards. Okay, and as Krishna says in the verse 40 of this chapter, that there's never any loss or diminution in this path. So everything that we do, it can never be taken away spiritually. Krishna may take the body, but he always takes care of us as the soul. And so as Prabhupada says in the purport, and also as Krishna said in the verse, that one who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, Krishna, and spiritual material natures, so they understand that I'm a soul, Krishna is there, there is a spiritual world, and there is a material world that is always changing, is always very temporary. One who understands all of these things, they're described as dhira, which means most sober. And a sober person isn't affected, they're not disturbed, they're not bewildered by just a change of bodies. So then Srila Prabhupada also explains how we're separate from Krishna and we have a personal relationship with Krishna. We have a personal relationship with him. We have a relationship with him now. We've always had a relationship with him and we'll continue to always have a relationship with him. But somehow or other we've forgotten about our eternal identity and our eternal relationship with him. And we associate with this world, the stuff in this world, the people of this world, and we become frustrated because this isn't a nice place, nor does it have anything that can make us truly happy. So this is the point that Prabhupada's making, that we associate with the body and this world, and then because we feel like we belong in this world and this is where I'm meant to be happy, and then when we get distressed because this world isn't a happy place, then we feel distressed. But actually, this isn't our home. This isn't where we belong. Actually, there's another reality. There's a spiritual world. And there we have a eternal, personal relationship with Krishna. So this is sort of the timeline. We were in the spiritual world. Then for some reason, we wanted to be separate from Krishna. So we came to this material world. And now, knowing and feeling and understanding, actually it's not nice to be separate from Krishna. Actually it feels really nice to be close to Krishna, to feel Krishna in my heart and to feel this relationship to Krishna. So then we need to reawaken this by chanting Hare Krishna, by following the process that's been practiced, that's prescribed for this age. And by doing so, then we start to feel a connection. It feels familiar. And as we continue to do it, then one day, as Srila Prabhupada says, one day you'll see Krishna. Krishna will appear. You'll see him. It's real. You'll see Krishna as by practicing the process of Krishna consciousness, of bhakti yoga, chanting Hare Krishna, coming to the temple, seeing Krishna here, seeing him in his beautiful cowherd boy form, his personal form, and opening our hearts to Krishna, then he begins to act in your life. He begins to arrange things. In the Krishna consciousness movement, we're nothing short of devotees who say, wow, Krishna is arranging that for me today. Krishna is doing this. People wake up and come for the morning program, and then they say, oh yeah, Krishna did something this week for me. Krishna did something yesterday for me. Oh yeah, I'm going through a tough time, but Krishna he's got my back. He's there. He's arranging something. He's doing something. He's taking care of me. And this fits into Krishna's ultimate conclusions in chapter 18, and the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where he says in verse 65, that always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage to me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. And this essence is personal. Think of him. He's a person. Be devoted to him. Worship him. Offer things to him. And then he'll take care of you. He's promising here, actually, that the more we do something for him, the more he reciprocates. He's always there, but because we have been so illusioned in this world, because we associate with our body and this body that we're in, and we think this is the real me, and this is the place I belong, this is where I'm supposed to find my happiness and my fulfillment and my contentment, that we then forget Krishna. But we have to reawaken that. And as we said, we reawaken that, we clarify that in our heart by chanting, by taking up the process of Krishna consciousness. And we'll find, as we do it, just a little bit every day, then we'll find that it has some effect. It has some uncovering, some revealing of something beyond this. So many people, actually everyone I've ever spoken to who has chanted Hare Krishna has said that, wow, that's something, there's something, I've realized something, I felt something. And then they do it more, they feel it more. And then they feel that their nature is becoming uncovered, their spiritual nature, their service that they want to do for Krishna. They're alive, they're actually inspired, they devote everything in their life towards Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates with that, and he arranges things in their life that otherwise it would not have been possible. It would not have happened. So then Krishna, he works some magic. So, sort of in conclusion, and I also wanted to open up if anyone has anything to share, any comments or questions or reflections, anything I've said. But in conclusion, we've been through millions of lifetimes, and this current lifetime that we're in, this current body that we're in, is just one in a larger journey. And through the cycle of birth and death, the soul remains. And someone who knows this, knows the nature of the soul, is undisturbed. To be truly confident, to be truly realized, actually, that I'm a spirit soul, and all the things that are happening to me in this body is just temporary. And we have an eternal, inescapably personal relationship with Krishna. He's waiting for us to connect with him. Even something small means the world to Krishna. Krishna, we think sometimes, I'm giving some big donation, or I'm offering some food, and we should do these things. It's good to give donations and offer food and give things to Krishna. And we think it's something so big. But actually for Krishna, the supreme controller of the universe, it's so small because he owns everything anyway. We're offering something. It reminds me when I was younger, and it would be like Mother's Day or my mum's birthday or someone's birthday, and I would be 10 years old and I didn't have any money, and I'd ask my parents, can I have some money to get you something? Now it's their money anyway, they could get it. But they say, okay, here's £10, I'll go and get them something, I'll give them back the thing, and they go, thank you so much, this is so kind of you. But it's their money, it's their present, they could have bought it themselves. No, but they want the love that I'm offering it with. And the thing doesn't matter as much as the love. The flower that we're offering to Krishna doesn't matter as much as the love that we're offering it with. Because Krishna owns all of the flowers. He owns the whole universe. What can we offer him that he doesn't have himself? But the flower is the envelope of our love. So we package our love into that flower or that service that we do, and then we say to Krishna, this is yours, I want you to have this. And also something, as I said, something small means the world to Krishna. He sees that and he goes, wow, you got me this, you gave me this, wow, I really appreciate this, because you're connecting with me in a personal way. I really like this. And then when he, naturally in any loving relationship, when we offer something to somebody, they reciprocate. And because Krishna is the supreme controller, he's our best friend, he's our well-wisher, he wants to do loads for us. He wants to reciprocate in a big way for us. So we offer him a flower, and then tomorrow he'll just arrange our life in a spectacular way. He'll say, wow, you gave me this, I want to give you so much more. I want to give you 1,000 flowers. We offer Krishna £10 with love, he might make us a millionaire tomorrow, maybe. So this holy month of Kartik is also a great opportunity to do something extra for Krishna. And in Nectar of Devotion, one of Srila Prabhupada's other books, he says that the Lord does not award devotional service to ordinary persons who are not serious about it, but even such unserious persons who execute devotional service according to the regulative principles during the month of Kartik and within the jurisdiction of Mathura and in India are very easily awarded the Lord's personal service. So it can be anything, this month especially, that it's like a sale. Krishna is making himself even more available, even more accessible. So it can be anything. We can offer extra, something small extra for Krishna. Well, maybe we chant extra rounds. Maybe we read more about Krishna. Maybe we set ourselves a daily reading challenge or a daily chanting challenge. Okay, I'm going to chant 1 round of the Hare Krishna mantra. It will take you under 10 minutes. Chant 1 extra round for Krishna. Connect with him more. Take up some extra service here at the manor. Take up some extra service at home, something you can do. Maybe you'll cook something for Krishna. Maybe you'll wake up 10 minutes earlier, cut some fruits, put it in a separate plate for Krishna, put it in front of a picture of Krishna and say, Krishna, I want you to have this. This is just for you. We can also distribute knowledge about Krishna. We can share this knowledge about Krishna with others so that others can come in contact with him, and then he can become even more happy and they can become even more happy. And us seeing this, we can become even more happy, seeing them connect with Krishna that we love. Because if you love somebody, you want everyone to know. Right? If you love somebody, if you love Krishna, we want everyone to know how wonderful Krishna is. Look how amazing he is. Look how beautiful he is. He's on the altar with beautiful flower garlands and flute and his headwear and his walking stick and his lotus feet, and he's there not just by himself but with his associates, with Srimati Radharani. He's there with his cows, with his cowherd friends. Let the whole world know about Krishna, how amazing Krishna is. So that's everything I wanted to speak about. If anyone has anything to share, any comments or questions, love to hear. Please go for it. We don't have another microphone, but you can shout if you want. Anyone like to share? You look like you have something to share. Yeah. Ah. Oh, congratulations. Oh, amazing. Congratulations. Wish you a very, very happy life together. You're welcome. Anyone like to share anything? Any questions, any comments, reflections at all? Yes, please. What exactly happens when you chant Hare Krishna? Yeah. Yeah. So when we chant Hare Krishna, when we chant seriously, when we chant attentively, then there's two things. One is we'll feel satisfied, we'll feel at peace, we'll feel connected to Krishna, we'll feel Krishna conscious, and we'll feel Krishna confident in our day. So we start early in the morning, we chant our rounds, we chant Hare Krishna in the morning, then it sets us up for a very successful day, because we will feel confident in that Krishna's got something planned for me today, and we'll also feel secure that actually he's taking care of me. We'll feel like a child in the hands of its mother. We'll feel Krishna is holding me, he's carrying me through today. So that's one thing that came to mind. There's many different things we can read about the holy name when we chant and what we might feel. And the second is that we may expect it to come quickly. And sometimes we should also be patient. But one time Srila Prabhupada was asked that how long does it take? You know, we've been in through, as we said, so many lifetimes, millions of lifetimes in this world. And we have, is it possible to, Srila Prabhupada was asked, is it possible, we've been through so many millions of lifetimes, is it possible to, how long does it take? Like, how many lifetimes does it take of chanting and practicing spirituality sincerely to go back? He said 1 moment. He said 1 minute, actually. He said, if you're serious, it takes 1 minute. It takes just a moment. So the more serious we are, more serious we become, the more attentive we are to our chanting, then the more attentive, then we clean this mirror of illusion. We clean this mirror of any illusion, and then we see and feel Krishna in our life, and then we can see Krishna. And then that's something. So I hope does that answer your question? Is that okay? Yeah, please.
With my husband, I'm trying to convince him now to go to Vrindavan. He's not ready to accept because he cares for me because I was unhealthy.
Okay.
He's not allowing me to go, but my heart is dying to see Shamsundar of Vrindavan. There
Wow.
but Samadhi is there.
Okay.
So how to convince him?
How to convince your husband that he should let you go to Vrindavan? That's a nice question. That's nice. That's beautiful. I mean, health is really important as well, like you said. So that's a big thing to consider. But how to convince him?
She also is there. I'm telling them she will take care
Sure. Well, I don't know your husband, so I'm not sure how I can convince him. But I will say that one thing is nice, is that there is Vrindavan in India, like the place, there's that Vrindavan. There is also 3 other types of Vrindavan. There is Vrindavan here in the temple, wherever Krishna is present, wherever his deity is there. There is also Vrindavan in our heart, because Krishna is present in our heart. So he's there. And then we can also, there's also Krishna. Krishna says in one verse in, I think, Srimad Bhagavatam, I don't know the exact verse or quote, but I've heard it before, that he says, wherever my devotees are present, that is Vrindavan. So we can also create Vrindavan at home. We're devotees, so we create the Vrindavan wherever we are. Like Krishna and the cowherd boys, they're always with Krishna. So that's Vrindavan. Now, if we're always with Krishna, then we're always in Vrindavan. If we're actually always feeling that we're with Krishna, then it's not different from Vrindavan. And then, of course, there is Vrindavan in India. We can actually go and visit those holy places, like you're saying. And I suggest everyone goes to visit, because it's a very beautiful place. And you can see the places where actually Krishna has been. He's had his pastimes. He's actually been, it's amazing, actually. The first time I went to Vrindavan, I saw, and I was shown around, and you can see where Krishna actually was. Like, you can see, this is exactly where the place where he had this pastime with a particular demon, right? Where he defeated a certain demon. There is, was it Kaliya Ghat in Vrindavan, which is by the Yamuna River. There's this serpent demon called Kaliya. And Krishna swings he jumps and he swings off a tree, and then he lands on the hood of the serpent demon Kaliya. Okay? And yeah, right, exactly. So there's a tree there, you can see the actual tree. And there are so many other examples of this in Vrindavan, where you can see, actually, this is where Krishna was. This is the tree. This is the exact river that he used to walk along with his cowherd friends. So it's real there. But to answer your question, I don't know what you can do to convince him. I guess keep praying and keep asking. And also create that Vrindavan in your heart and in your home as well. Make it Vrindavan. Read about Vrindavan. And then one day Krishna will say, yeah, come, let's go. And then you can go. Also, we think we go to Vrindavan. Actually, we can just visit there. We can walk in and see Krishna's home. But actually, we have to become, really honestly, we have to become beggars to ask Krishna. Because it's his home. We don't walk into somebody's home. We say, Krishna, I really want to connect with you. Please let me in. And then, as we say, Krishna, if anyone... if somebody, what's that quote that we hear all the time? Like, if somebody wants to defeat you, but Krishna saves you, then nothing can, defeat you. And, I'm paraphrasing, but that, so if you want to go to Vrindavan and Krishna wants you to come, then what can stop you? Who can stop you? Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah, keep desiring. When we have a sincere desire, Krishna always helps us. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah, please.
So, we chant every day, right? In a normal day, right?
Yeah.
So, is there any difference between chanting in a normal day and chanting when you are about to die?
Wow.
Because I've heard, right, if you are chanting when you are about to die, right, then you will definitely attend Krishna.
If you're chanting when you're about to die, then you
Definitely go to Krishna.
definitely go to Krishna. Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's what I heard.
Yeah, sure. So your question is, what's the difference between chanting at the time of death and chanting in a normal day? Nothing really should be different, actually. We should chant.
Is it true, right? People say, right, it's very difficult to chant the holy name when you are about to die, because you will think about about so many things, right? I'm about to die. What will happen to my son? What will
Sure.
happen to my wife, right?
Sure.
And at that time, it's very difficult to chant the holy name because you will think about everything,
Yeah.
but not the holy name.
Sure.
I mean, there are people who can think about it, right? But
Sure.
very less.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, we should be chanting like that all the time, actually, because we don't know when we're going to die. So, devotee is always. There's what's that one? I came across it recently somewhere. Anyway, there's something I was reading where it said how a devotee is always kind of expecting death because it can happen any point. Not expecting, but is not unexpecting it, right? Like they know it's going to. Sorry? Yeah, it's a reality. It's coming. It can happen at any point. So we could be chanting at any time, or we could not be chanting and we could die. So better to be chanting and to try and remember Krishna as much as possible, and don't rush it at the end. Like when we get to older, unfortunately, sometimes there's in certain cultures where when somebody is on their deathbed, they have lived a maybe not so religious life, but then when they on their deathbed, they suddenly become religious. Like they say that thing in hospitals, they have more sincere prayers than churches, kind of thing, or something like that. Yeah.
Basically, half an hour ago or 1 hour ago, I was in the Haveli
Okay.
listening to another Prabhu. So they were telling about Ajamil, right? Ajamil in the Bhagavad, right?
Yeah.
So Ajamil was a simple person
Yeah.
in his whole life, mostly in his life, right?
Yeah.
But when he's about to die, right, he was calling his son Narayan.
Yeah.
And just because he called his son Narayan, right, he took the name, holy name, when he was about to die. That was his last word, Narayan, right?
Yeah.
So he was able to find Krishna. He was able to
Yeah.
So I was wondering, right, when you are about to die, if you take the holy name, I mean, no matter what you have done in your entire life, you may be a sinful person, you may be a complete bad person, right?
Yeah.
Just because you take the holy name, when you are about to die, right, you are able to find Krishna. So that's where this question is arising.
Sure. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. So, Krishna. We can think about Krishna at the time of death, and then go back. Maybe go back to Krishna, but we shouldn't depend on that. We shouldn't depend on it. Like, that's what I mean. In some cultures, they have this thing where on your deathbed, then everyone's serious about spirituality when you're about to die. So that's it's great because it's better than nothing. But yeah, sorry.
As far as I've understood from the Bhagavatam, Ajamil did chant at the time of death, but he actually got given the benediction to basically refocus his life before he got back. So he still had to practice for many, many years before he went back. But what happened with that situation is that his attention was refocused. That's my understanding.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
I go for the distribution of the books. And I know what happened. I try to convince them to do the mala. Ready. Some of them accept the mala. Some of them don't get to accept the mala. That time what I do.
Sorry. Some people don't accept the beads to chant. Okay. Okay.
I try to convince them.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Sure.
convincing them what
Okay.
the name. Because you have in 3 seconds you talk with them.
Yeah. Sure. How were you convinced? No, I'm asking you. How were you convinced about Krishna consciousness? How did you come to like Krishna consciousness? Oh, from childhood. Okay, fine. Sure. Okay, got you. Understand. Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay, sure. I understand. Okay, no, fine. Because I was going to ask that for anyone who's not born in Krishna consciousness, is not that easy to suddenly be given beads and to be told to chant. So we find a way. Yeah, sure. So then we need to do something different. We have to do things differently with them, maybe. Some people love food, so we give them Krishna Prasad, and then they have Krishna Prasad, and they love it, and then they come back for more, and then they keep coming to the temple, and then they come to the temple, then they take the beads, and they want to chant. But if we go on the street and sell the food, we say, here's some beads, chant every day, it'll be difficult. It'll be like they don't understand it actually. And it's important also because the ninth offense of the holy name is to instruct faithless persons about the glories of the holy name. So there's something to bear in mind also for us, is that we shouldn't give something to somebody before they're ready for it. We can ask them, what do you think about meditation? And then they say, yeah, I love meditation. I actually want to do more. And then you go, try this meditation. But if they say, I've never done it before, we don't say, chant for 2 hours every day or something.
I will get some bad thing on me.
Sure.
If I don't do one day, or if I do one day, that time I will get, because Krishna is so pure, he's like ocean of water. I explained her, but she didn't.
Okay, fine. So this person cursed you or said, okay, fine. And
It's about educating.
yeah,
They just feel scared of it. Even us, we are superstitious. We think, okay, this will happen, that. It's just about educating ourselves.
Yeah.
That we do everything in the name of Krishna. It's good. It's just educating. That's what I mean.
yeah, no, 100% agree. It is about,
We do to our kids, we just educate them. If they know what's right, what's wrong,
yeah.
then it's all good.
Yeah. We have to show them that chanting Hare Krishna is the way, and we actually have to be convinced ourselves, because sometimes, I'm not saying this is you at all, but sometimes people who try to convince others aren't convinced themselves. So we have to be convinced ourselves, and actually that is the main preaching that we'll do. That's the main convincing for people. If people see me convinced in my own practice, and I'm able to wake up early and chant and read and connect with Krishna and do things for Krishna, and they can see the effect in me, that's going to be more than any words I say. The example. This is the example that is given by the word acharya. Acharya is like a teacher who teaches by example. So there's the pracha, the things they say, and there's the acha, which is their character, their behavior. So that speaks volumes and often speaks more, and that's why we're so many people are so inspired by Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada was never trying to impress anyone. He was never trying to make a show of what a spirit, making a show of a guru or making a show of a spiritual teacher. He was actually living, he was walking his talk. He was living his words. He was acting the way that he was telling people also to act. So it made that, it wasn't, Prabhupada used to chant Hare Krishna, and he would tell us to chant Hare Krishna. He's telling us to chant Hare Krishna now. So we know that he's also, we can trust that, and we can see the effect in him, that everyone who spoke to Srila Prabhupada felt so much love. Nobody walked away from Srila Prabhupada without feeling an immense amount of love. And so we should also become that. We can become that. That we chant, we take it seriously, we feel close to Krishna, we feel so much gratitude towards Krishna because of the love that he's giving us. We feel so much in love with Krishna. Then we speak to others. They feel that love, that compassion. Then they'll feel it. And then they won't, you can maybe not even need to sometimes say anything. They'll just see, wow, you've got something about you. What is it? And then you'll say, oh yeah, I chant Hare Krishna, I do this. And then they say, I need to do that now. I want to be like you. And then...
Some of them they easily take away, and because I have keep mala in my hand when I speak with them.
Sure. Oh, you do? You don't?
Like they wear monkey, as we copy each other so quickly, and we are chanting, then they will be definitely
Sure.
intensity.
Sure. Well, as Mataji at the front here just said, like we as you said, really nicely put, is that it is about education. You need to tell people why should they chant Hare Krishna? Why should we chant Hare Krishna? As we said, we should know for ourselves, and then we're able to easily convince others in a nice way. And also to be personal is really important. To be personal in book distribution is and spreading Krishna consciousness is very important. Like, if especially you're on a high street and you're trying to distribute books or beads, is that there are loads of people distributing things on the street. So what are we going to do that's different? Because everyone on this planet is told every day that they should be doing something extra, they should be given something to be happy, and externally they will see chanting Hare Krishna as the same as that, on the same level. Obviously we know it's beyond that, and we know that ultimately, they should be everyone should be chanting Hare Krishna, but they don't know that. So as Mataji said, we need to educate them, give them the knowledge. Srila Prabhupada said that I've written all these books just to convince you to chant. So give them books, and then they'll read it and go, actually, I really want to try this chanting thing. I really want to actually, what are these holy names that I've been reading about? I want to get some beads and try that. So something like that. Anyway, thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else have anything to share? Any comments, questions, reflections? Yeah. Something? Oh, you guys? Okay, cool. Okay, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you've got a second, do you know you're chanting? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You sure? Yeah, let me just put this away and then oh, of course. Yes.